Greetings. I am Brother Sylvester Muhammad, and this is my wife.
Sister Sandra Muhammad.
And we are amongst the many followers of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and his representation of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Today, man, so much information. Woo, man, I'm telling you, it's a powerful thing to study. I mean, truth.
Truth.
As represented by the Honorable Elijah Muhammad through Minister Farrakhan. But truth itself. And that's why we did last week the podcast, during our podcast, we talked about the miseducation of the Negro. Now, we talked about Carter G. Woodson. You know, and Carter G. Woodson,'s the miseducation of the Negro, it was Carter G. Woodson that started Negro history. Weak. But we have not changed since he started this. But everything that he said, here's a black man, educated, that saw what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and Minister Farrakhan is representing today. So, on the timeline of the original man, all right, we've come from 78 trillion all the way down to the last time of Prophet Muhammad of 1400 years ago, and we're getting ready to go into 1492 with Columbus. But the problem is that this is black history from a week to a month.
Right.
And so we're gonna go over this month. But 78 trillion years ago, God created himself from nothing. And God created his second self, which is the woman. And I must say, brothers, our women they are patiently waiting for us to come up on the spiritual level, and like the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, like Minister Farrakhan, like Jesus himself, and accept the characteristics, the feminine characteristics of the nature of God, so that we can understand how valuable she is. And inshallah, we'll probably be dealing with this more, but you have anything you want to say about that, baby? Since you are that second self.
Yes, you know, we we as couples, you know, every woman needs a husband and every man needs a wife.
Yes.
You know, and we enjoy our marriage. We have to have that second self. You know, we have to have that other half of ourselves, you know, because we complement each other.
Yes,
as a couple,
yes.
you know, and we understand each other when we are striving to be one with God. Then we understand each other. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say. We complement each other and we help keep each other, you know, on the right path.
Exactly. My best friend.
Yeah.
All right, my wife. Now, we have to reflect on these stories, okay? Because we're talking about the miseducation of the Negro. What did they miseducate you on? They miseducated you on your story or our story, and they gave you his story.
That's right.
His story is truths mixed with falsehood. Our story is just sheer truth. Jesus said that you shall know the truth.
That's right.
And the truth shall make you free. And that truth is in full effect today, and I pray Allah that he bless us to share some of these truths with you, that you will see the light. Now, I'm going to do some things today that's it could be offensive, but if you just look at what if you look at what I'm doing as opposed to what you think I'm trying to do, then you could get a picture of where we need to be going, as an old world is going out and a new world is coming in.
Yeah, and why
So,
we're doing it. Yeah,
why we're doing it.
Why? That's right.
So my wife is going to read that from Message to the Black Man that parallels with a man that wrote the miseducation of Negro 33 years ago. So she's going to read. Listen to the parallel, the connection of the two.
That's right. This is from the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Okay, this chapter is entitled Get Knowledge to Benefit Self. Okay, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, I am for the acquiring of knowledge, or the accumulating of knowledge, as we now call it, education. First, my people must be taught the knowledge of self.
Wow.
Then and only then will they be able to understand others and that which surrounds them. Anyone who does not have a knowledge of self is considered a victim of either amnesia or unconsciousness and is not very competent.
Not very competent.
The lack of knowledge of self is a prevailing condition among my people here in America. Gaining the knowledge of self makes us unite into a great unity. Knowledge of self makes you take on the great virtue of learning.
The great virtue of learning.
Yes.
I want to say with that, baby. See, that's why we're doing the timeline of the original man. Because it is your knowledge. You might think that I do a lot of studying, we do a lot of studying, but the Honorable Elijah Muhammad says that we can learn all of the above with very little or no. With very little or no time. Because it is our own. It belongs to us. It's innate. It's in your DNA. Once the truth of who you are, you accept the truth of who you are, then it awakens the God consciousness in you, and you begin to vibrate on the frequency of that God consciousness. Come on, baby.
That's right. Okay. He says, many people have attempted to belittle or degrade my followers.
Listen up.
By referring to them as unlettered or unschooled. They do this to imply that the believers in Islam are ignorant. If such a claim were so, then all the more credit should be given for our striving for self-elevation with so little. But truth represents itself and stands by itself.
Represents itself and stands by itself. Truth.
Right. No followers nor any other people are more zealous about the acquiring of knowledge than my followers. Throughout the Holy Quran, the duty of a Muslim is to acquire knowledge. It spells out, my people should get an education which will benefit their own people and not an education added to the storehouse of their teacher. Okay,
meaning our former slave masters and their children. They are the ones that have educated all of us. I respect your degrees, your scholarship. But the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that he wouldn't give 2 cents for any of the knowledge that the scholars have brought. Because God is present now.
That's right.
And that's why you don't know the timeline of the original man. It had been hidden.
That's right.
But God has came and gave it to a little 3rd grade or 4th grade educated man named Elijah. Because God knows best where to put his message.
That's right.
And look at Malcolm.
Yeah.
Look at the minister.
Yeah.
Look at Warv Dean. I mean, look at all of those that have followed behind him. Okay? In his absence. Come on, baby.
That's right. Wow. And look who God chose. Like you said, a little 4th grade educated man.
Yes.
Okay. And gave him the knowledge of God, the knowledge of self.
Wow. All of this that you see, the timeline, if you go back and listen to all 45 of our timelines of the original man, you're going to hear what God taught Elijah.
That's right. Beautiful. And he didn't choose a man that was lettered, but is learned.
Biblically speaking, who is this man?
That's right.
Talking about Jesus. That wasn't 2,000 years ago. Who is this man? Present time, having not letters, but is learning.
That's right. Okay, he states, we need education, but an education which removes us from the shackles of slavery and servitude. Get an education, but not an education which leaves us in an inferior position and without a future.
Yes.
Get an education, but not an education that leaves us looking to the slave master for a job. Education for my people should be where our children are off to themselves for the first 15 and 16 years in classes separated by sex.
See, separated by sex. One of the biggest problems we have so much trouble in elementary,
public school system,
high schools, it's because you got 2 adolescents that are coming into their adulthood, and both of them are hot with desire. I'm going to put it like it is. But that desire should be put in its proper context, and can only be put in its proper context if you're educating females from males.
That's right.
Go on, baby.
That's right. He says, then they could and should seek higher education without the danger of losing respect for self or seeking to lose their identity.
That's what happens. They get pregnant and they just lost.
Yeah.
And brother ain't finna take care of no jury. He just like a dog in the heat. He ain't taking care of no jury. Okay, come on.
Okay, no people strive to lose themselves among other people except the so-called American Negroes. This they do because of their lack of knowledge of self. We want to be like everyone else except ourselves.
There's a lot more in that reading, but we know we gonna try to do this in 40 minutes. So we gonna save the rest of that for next week.
Keep going.
Now this time we're gonna deal with the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan reflecting Carter G. Woodson with the miseducation of the Negro, okay, and message to the black man.
That's right. This book is entitled Education is the Key. And this is by Minister Farrakhan.
Look how tiny that book is, but watch and listen closely to the explosives that come out.
That's right. Okay.
Come on, baby.
This is page 19. It's entitled Miseducation and White Supremacy. Okay, it states, for 300 years, black people did not have any books. For 300 years, black people were locked out of the church. People do not understand that the things that you send into the lives of others have a strange way of coming back into your own.
The law of karma. Read that. What's that heading again?
Oh, miseducation and white supremacy.
Miseducation, 33 years ago. And white supremacy. That's what Carter G. Woodson was sharing with us. That we have been white supremacy and black inferiority. Miseducation when it comes to the knowledge of self. Go on, baby.
All right. He states, a little over 100 years ago, white people allowed black people into the church. Let them read the Bible, but make sure they do not read too much of it. Fix them among that part that states, love your enemy.
Love your enemy.
Pray for them that despitefully use you.
Yes.
God knows we're sure using those people.
Wow.
They better send up a lot of prayers for us. And if they take your cloak, run and give them your pants. Give, give, give. If they ask you to go 1 mile, go 2.
Go 2.
Okay? Be good niggas. Don't revolt. Don't steal from your master. They determine education is the key.
They determine.
They determine.
What they want you to know as education is the key.
That's right.
I mentioned last week in the timeline of the original man how the preachers would come to church and sit in to make sure that what they taught the preacher to teach, he taught it.
That's right.
There are pictures of it. I couldn't find mine, but there are pictures of it. Come on, baby.
Knowledge is power. Okay. In 1863, Abraham Lincoln, a father of the Republican Party, said, let the slaves go. Emancipate them. So we were freed, but were still bound by chains. Jesus said, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free. We were free, but still bound by chains.
I read a book once that was called From Slavery to Freedom. And it says that freedom only lasted for 1 day. After we parted and glad to be free, we woke up under a tree with no place to go, no place to live. And so we had to go back to the same ones that enslaved us and ask them for a job. And we've been on that plantation ever since.
Asking them for jobs.
Asking them for job and justice.
That's right. Even with the degrees.
Even with the degrees. No disrespect to your degrees. But I guarantee you, if you were to just listen to the messenger's teachings, and the teachings of Honorable Elijah Muhammad is represented by Minister Louis Farrakhan, you could take your skill, and I guarantee you, you can turn it into something that you can do and be a better service to yourself and your people and make money. Come on, baby.
That's right. Okay, he says, although Abraham Lincoln issued an Emancipation Proclamation, he did not give the truth to the slaves. So the slaves would still be bound to the slave master, not physically chained, but mentally, morally, and spiritually.
Mentally, morally, and spiritually. And that's and the greatest shackle of slavery that still remains is the name.
Yeah.
See, you don't have a right to deny white folks, and that's why you'll never get reparation from them, because you still identify yourself as belonging to them based on your name.
That's right.
Study the Nation of Islam. Come on,
That's
baby.
right. Education is the key to unlock the chain. But where will we get it?
Where will
That's
we
the
get
question.
it? Where will we get it? That's the
Where will we
question.
get that education?
Come on, brother minister.
Okay, white people allow black people to come to school and learn to read and write. But they wrote the books that
They
black
wrote
people
the
read.
books. Come on.
But they wrote the book that black people read so that they would be sure to know what black people would write. If
The miseducation of the
That's right.
Negro.
That's it. That's it. Allahu Akbar.
Come on.
Okay, if a man controls what goes in, he can control what comes out.
Wow.
He who sets the diameter of your knowledge determines the circumference of your activity.
Yes, sir.
So if I do not give you much knowledge, you are limited to your productivity. Even though many of us were happy to go to school, we were miseducated on purpose by white people.
Miseducated on purpose by our former slave masters and now his children.
That's right.
They have a responsibility. They know we've been miseducated.
That's right.
Don't be hiding.
That's right. The truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth.
Okay. The minister says, what books did white people give us to read
Listen
as
to
children?
this. As children. I remember these days.
I remember these books.
Come on, baby.
Okay. In kindergarten, we read about Snow White.
Mm.
We read about Goldilocks.
Duh.
Even though our locks were not gold.
Mm.
In the first grade, we read about Dick, Jane, and their dog Spot.
And their dog Spot. We read it.
That's right. We did not look like Dick, nor did we look
Dog
like Jane.
Jane.
The only blackness that we saw was the spots on Spot.
And see, that's called the art of deception. Subliminal seduction.
That's right.
See?
Seduction.
Come on, baby.
When they finally depicted black people, they showed us as little black Sambo.
Little Black Sambo. Now, y'all don't remember that, but I remember that.
A lot of people don't, but yes, that's serious.
And see, today they upgraded little Black Sambo to, excuse me, baby, no disrespect to y'all sisters with them weaves, but little Black Sambo to become the sisters that got to have her weave.
Yep, that's
the truth. That's what they push on you.
That's right.
You know?
That's why people do it. And we ran from that ugly image. We began to wonder why Allah God had made us black in a world of white people. We wondered why Allah God would curse us with black skin, kinky hair, broad noses, and thick lips.
Wow.
We believed that we were an ugly people. But who told us that we were ugly?
Who told us that we were ugly?
That's right. Beloved brothers and sisters, if you hate yourself, you cannot love Allah God. Since Allah God created you and you do not look the way He created you.
Go on.
Since Allah God created you and you do not like the way He created you, how can you love the Creator if you do not love His creation? He says, we were miseducated and taught against ourselves. So our education was not real because it was not based on complete truth.
It was not based on complete truth.
It was based on the psychology of white supremacy and reinforced in the minds of black people that we must accept our subhuman posture and position. And remember that white people are born to rule, and we must never rise to challenge their rule.
And that's a reality to this very day. That's a reality to this very day. But again, that's why we are teaching the timeline of the original man. Because God, there was a reason for our kinky hat.
That's right.
Okay? There's a reason for all that you want to call ugly.
That they call ugly.
That they call
ugly.
ugly. Yeah, but the thing is that God is making something.
Yes.
See, and he made something that would challenge the devil. He made a people that will eventually become the apple of God's eye, and eventually set up the kingdom of heaven on earth. You worried about lips and high, you can change it with a thought. But we're going to get into that as we move forward, because God is definitely making a people to be his choice on the planet.
Right.
And it's the people that they convince you are ugly.
That's right.
That's the black man and woman of America first.
That's right. He is creating that infinity material.
He is creating infinity material.
That's
Just
right.
imagine what a diamond goes through coming from coal. It's so powerful that I know it's inconceivable to you, but I'm telling you, whether we want to accept it or not, God is making it.
That's
and
right.
he's doing it with a people that was considered no people at all.
Wow. And it's sad too, you know, the way they have made us think. And I look at how they have this police brutality, you know, and they have messed our minds up so bad to the point of, you know, you have black men, if they see a police officer come in their direction, they automatically, some of them just take off running.
Yes.
It's like their brain take them back to slavery.
Yes.
You know, because we were done that way for so long. They ran us down and chased us down. And then they asked the question, well, why did he run? He must have did something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
No, we never did anything wrong. You know, but you chased us down. And we couldn't even stand around. And what you all would call loitering, those laws came about because of black people.
Yes.
You wanted to imprison us.
And didn't want us to have any congregation for fear or threat that we would come against you. And let me say this. Well, I'll deal with that. The 5 brothers before we leave here today.
Right.
But go
Yes.
on.
Okay. The minister says, so black people were only allowed to see Dick run and watch Jane go.
Y'all don't remember them books? I remember them books, baby.
I know, it's crazy.
And I used to wonder, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Boy, I mean, come on, baby, read on.
See Dick run and watch Jane go. But we had to be careful of how we even treated Spot, because dogs are treated better than black people in America. They have laws to protect dogs while they lynch black people.
They have laws to protect dogs while they lynch black people. And that's what I mentioned last week when I was dealing with Lazarus. You know, at the rich man's gate, the dog was treated better than Lazarus.
That's right.
And that's why God had to come in the person of Master Father Muhammad, so that he can put us in his bosom.
That's right.
And put the white man in hell. Excuse me, the Caucasian. No, Satan,
That's right.
the devil maker,
That's right.
into hell.
That's right.
Manufacturer. The devil manufacturer into hell.
That's
White
right.
folk, you can get out, but you're going to have to listen to God's criteria.
That's right.
The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. You can get out too. He's your solicitor. He's even a solicitor for the Jews if they want to get out.
That's right.
But your time up. It's
That's
our
right.
time now.
All right, so the minister says, black people are not even worth a dog's life in this society, yet white people claim to be educated and civilized.
And they claim.
Claim.
Now you just got on our planet 6,000 years ago, but you think you know more than us? Okay, I'm going to let that alone. Timeline of the original man. Come on,
That's
baby.
right. White people never really learned to read. For if they had learned to read the universe,
Ooh.
they would have understood, as Thomas Jefferson said, I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just and that his justice cannot sleep
forever.
Some white people knew and understood the laws of justice that govern the universe.
That governs the universe.
But their wickedness and wickedness were greater, so they acted as people who did not know. Let me read that again. Some white people knew and understood the laws of justice that govern this universe.
That governs this universe.
But their wickedness and weakness were greater, so they acted as people who did not know. But they knew
They knew.
And they are going to suffer for it.
That's right.
He says their wicked actions prepare for the present generation the harvest of their evil seeds and evil deeds. If Allah God is not merciful today, this country and white people will be lost, because they cannot claim in this generation that they did not do anything, and that it was their forefathers who enslaved black people. But the thing is, as the ministers say, while they did, in fact, do not want their fathers, didn't do what their fathers did, if in this generation they do nothing to correct the wrong, then the weight of their father's sin fall on their children.
Yes.
This is the law of justice.
This is the law of justice. And isn't that?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go on.
Okay, it is sad and painful, but white people took the pleasure, so now they must take the pain.
White people took the pleasure. They knew that one day, like Thomas Jefferson said,
right.
he trembled at the fact that God's justice cannot sleep forever. And he and Benjamin Franklin, and I think it was one of the other ones, might have been Quincy Adams. They were Masons, amongst other ones. They knew a Mason. The name Mason means Muslim sons. They worship us. This is when they worship us, when we were in our glory.
Yeah.
See, they know we are their fathers. They know they came from us. And so they tried to make amends, but they were fought by the rest of them, because the rest of them weren't going to hear it. They weren't Masons. All they wanted was to continue slavery by another name, sharecropping.
That's right.
Etc.
That's right.
Come on, baby.
Yes, so actually it's all for that one. But they're definitely going to get what's coming to them.